What's up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin.
There it is,
Oh
buddy.
man, yes sir, yes sir. We didn't do it last week. We missed it. We missed
Yeah,
our
we just
intro
got
last
right
week.
into it.
We got right into it. I'm sure there's some people out there who are like, "Hey, we didn't get the introduction. There's no introduction."
Nah, I'm sure there weren't. All right, so this is it, right? Episode 23. This is a big one. I'm a little excited. I'm even a little nervous. This we're going international today, bro.
Yeah, we're going big time, man. I'm loving it. I'm excited about it. I was reading about our guest last night, and this guy is pretty amazing, man. Pretty awesome. I love what he's doing, and I love what he's doing.
There's a lot about him out there which you could find. His name, well, I'll probably mispronounce it, but I believe it's Jad El Khoury. And he is a Lebanese street artist. He started he grew up after the Civil War in Lebanon. So then he started painting on a lot of these blown out buildings. And
hey, hold up, don't give it.
Okay, well, I'm just giving a quick bio. I'm just
giving
a quick bio
right,
so people know, and that's street art, and so so he's
a street artist. He's a street artist that's trying to take I think, not what I think, but he's taking war-torn areas and he's trying to, bring some beauty, right? Transform those areas from places of trauma to places that can. He's trying to. What's the word? Trying to redefine, right? Redefine those areas as far as like the history of those areas and buildings and things of that nature. So. Man, I'm pretty excited about it. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it for a while, and you reached out to him, and he was gracious enough.
I first learned about him because of my Swatch here. He designed this, and then so I looked him up, and that's very typical American. Like, I learned about him until I had something I could consume.
No, it's good though. I think it shows some curiosity. You're inquisitive. Like you look at the watch.
Help grow his audience, with something like that. And then I got to know him. I started following him on Instagram and he hit me back. And then once we started the podcast, I was like, oh man, I'd love to talk to that guy.
Absolutely. What I'm excited about is I want to hear him pronounce his name because I think that I haven't even tried to say it yet, but I'm gonna spill it out. It's the first word
J-A-D,
J-A-D, and then the middle is E-L.
Yeah.
And the last name is Khoury.
Yeah.
Which,
He's famous for his character is called the Potato Nose character.
Yeah, Potato Nose. Which we'll get into that too about, how he started that, where he came up with it and how long it's been around. Reading his bio, I'm like, I kind of know that, but I'm curious to hear his take on it and the response. Yeah. So before we bring him in, because he's not here yet, but he'll be here in a few minutes. How's your week been, man? What's going on with you?
I'm good, man. Not much to report, buddy. I don't know. I went with my niece and nephew to the zoo, and it was the hottest day of the year in LA. And even the animals were hot. Even the animals were like, fine, going outside. No, man, down here it's like 100. It was like 90 something.
Okay.
But it was just, there's no shade. There's no shade in the zoo, dude. You're just baking in it, man.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about zoos?
Well,
overall, animals.
You feel bad for the animals not in their natural habitat. However, children, that's how a lot of children are introduced to animals. And then just to see these children at the zoo, and even my niece and nephew, like how their eyes light up around a different animal and how that makes them interested in learning. And that's what got me learning into animals. I love animals, and that's helped me in my beliefs of climate change and protecting the earth. So
protecting the habitat.
Right? Yeah. So if there's animals like, if they're being born in captivity and they can't be in the wild anyway, or if they're injured and you can't put them in the wild, then I understand. I don't, they're treated well, they live longer, but you're right. I mean, you don't want, you feel bad that they're not free in their own habitats as well.
Right. Well, I'm kind of torn. Like you, I feel the same way. Like I think the zoo is a great introduction to animals and conservation and habitat restoration and protection and things of that nature. And so having access to them will, it builds that curiosity. So you learn, and then you try to figure out ways to help the animals that are out in the wild. But for a lot of these animals, they are born in captivity. Their parents were born in captivity. So that's all they've ever known. Right. Like, it's like, do you miss do you miss what you don't know to some degree? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, you know, I would love to see them. I would love to see them in their natural habitat and be out in the wild and living how they should be living, right? Or how they would live normally. But they do live longer. They have good lives, and they're taken care of.
Yeah, I'm definitely against like idiots like Tiger King owning the animals, though. That is ridiculous. And tigers are more, there's more tigers held in captivity in the United States, I believe, than there are in the world. It's
like in the wild.
in the world. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's nuts.
sad.
It's sad. That's so sad.
And that's not where those animals belong. And that's not, you know,
yeah. No, I'm with
look
you
at
on
us.
that
We're getting into the political thing because we got political artists there.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true, man. It's true. I think that I would, you know, I love for, okay, if animals, if the zoo was like going out into the wild and like catching animals and putting them in captivity,
right? That's really messed up. Like Shamu, like Shamu.
Oh, Shamu was a wild killer whale.
Well, that's how they started. A lot of those SeaWorld animals is they went and hunted and grabbed them and captured them live and brought them in. And then some of them would be crying out, like just like in Free Willy when he's crying out to his family out there. Like that's what some of these whales would be doing.
Oh my goodness! No wonder he was chomping on people. He was like,
yeah, no, he lost his mind. Yeah, he lost his mind in there. He's the largest killer whale like they ever had it here in the U.S. And he was, you know, he lost his damn mind. He killed a few people.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the thing. But those guys are in like a damn puddle compared to what.
Hey, look, man, I think it's the same thing, and we can go deep into this if you want to, but I think it's the same thing with humans in captivity, right? Like if you put people in cages, eventually they lose them. Like people cannot live in solitary confinement, right? That's just, it's a surefire way to lose your brain. So I think that whole system, and now we talking about the prison industrial system, I think that whole thing needs to be like revamped, reorganized, changed, and addressed in a certain way. Because it's just not sustainable as far as like, there's no rehabilitation, you know, it's just, it's all bad, man. But
that's the thing. You're right. It doesn't, there is no rehab. It doesn't
there's no rehab.
Change people. I mean, it doesn't make them better. They're just thrown to the wolves, really.
Exactly. So you put people in cages, right? And you treat them like animals. And then at some point you want to put them back into society, but you haven't done anything to help them readjust to society. You haven't given them the tools to keep them from making the same mistakes that they made the first time to get in there. But see, this is the thing. I think this is a problem on a much bigger scale, on a larger scale, is that the idea that you do something wrong is not, I feel like the idea that you do something wrong, people take that as you're a bad person versus you're a person that just did something bad. You know what I mean? Like you can't be rehabbed or you can't be helped to given the tools to make better decisions or learn how to make better decisions or handle whatever emotional things that you may have, or even there may be some, you know, it may be even some, I don't know, mental aspects to a lot of these things that come into play. So, but that's a whole discussion for another day. As far as like, you know, I woke up thinking about this the other day. We are not what happens to us, right? You are not what happens to you, but you are how you respond to those things that happen to you.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the things that happen, you know, all the different things that may happen to us in our lives doesn't define who we are as people. Those are just events that have happened to us, but how we respond to those events is really who we are. Right. And so to be the best person that you can be in response to things that happen to you, you have to learn how to handle and process and adapt and adjust and move on from those things. And if you don't have that, then I think that leads to a whole nother level of care and, you know, help that you need, like trauma and, you know, whatever. So yeah, I didn't mean to get that deep this early.
Save that for last week, bro. Did anyone comment on your philosophical talk last week, Reg?
You know what? Have I heard any comments about it? I've had a few people tell me like, you know, I was listening to it. I haven't finished yet. And so I got to get in. And I'm like, yo, the second half, I'm like, yo, we get kind of deep into some, you know, positive reinforcement, brain synapses connecting and, you know, trying to rewire your brain and your subconscious so that it doesn't rule your life. You know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, I'll reach out to some people and see what they think. But you know, so
no, sometimes it's important, man.
No, absolutely. See, this is the thing, man. I think that the care that's left out the most, I think, is mental care, right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's like non-existent for a long time. Like people didn't even believe in it.
right. They just think you're
And
supposed
there's
to be
such a
fine.
stigma to it where like you're crazy if you need that and do, you know what I mean? It's
Right,
just
right. So you take care, it's like health care, right? Spiritual, emotional care, right? Like, but what about mental? Seriously, straight up mental, man. Right? Like, it's the idea that we think we can send people to wars and have them just go over, experience whatever they experience in the heat of battle in another country, and then like supposed to just come home and put down their guns and be like, all right, I'm gonna get a job at Walmart and I'll just keep
right,
moving. Like I did not
right,
experience this traumatic event. And that's going to the extreme war. It might not be war. It could just be trauma in the home, dealing with parents or siblings or relatives on some level, right? Emotional, spiritual, uh, physical, right? Like there's all different types of trauma that exist, but it almost seems like the ones that get the most attention are the most extreme ones, the ones that everyone can see. But I mean, it can be traumatic to a person who lives in a house where somebody just decides they don't want to talk to you,
right.
right? Or they treat you like you don't exist. That's traumatizing, right? So even that, something like that needs some care, right? Some
And
attention.
plus the mind is so powerful, it could convince you whatever it wants, really.
Dude. And this is the part I missed. I left out last week and I wanted to say this so badly. So I'm glad you just brought that up, but I can say it now.
Uh-oh.
No, seriously, the mind cannot tell the difference between fact and fiction,
Mm.
right? It cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's made up. So if you tell yourself something that's made up, the mind will believe it. And that
That
will
sounds
become,
like a lot of people in America right now.
it becomes, and that's how opinions for a lot of people turn into facts because they
Right.
think about it so much that they turn something that isn't real or just an idea into a reality. So the brain cannot differentiate between fact or fiction. So you have to be aware of what you put inside your head and what you are telling yourself about yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because if you say it enough, your brain will believe it. And though it will go from being an opinion or an idea about yourself to being a fact, which is not true.
Nice. All right, Guru Reggie. Let me give a quick little recipe story.
Okay.
We'll lighten the mood for a second.
Yeah, please do. Please
Uh,
do.
so okay, so I'm lactose intolerant, and I wanted my niece. She's 9. She wanted mac and cheese, right? And
Okay.
I was like, "Yo, I'll make non-dairy mac and cheese. You won't even be able to tell the difference." Okay, so
Hold up. Hold up.
yo,
I'm
man,
sorry. I'm sorry. That's like saying, I don't look, I don't need cheese, but I feel like that's like saying, hey, look, man. Hey, look, man, I know you drink beer, but I got this old duels. You won't even be able to tell the
well, so
difference.
here's the thing. All right. First off,
Okay, go
you
ahead.
don't
Go ahead.
have mac and cheese. You never
I
had my
don't.
non-dairy mac and cheese.
You're
So
right.
already you're doing a lot of assuming, Reg.
You're right.
Okay.
And I don't drink beer, so I don't even know the difference between a beer and
What
old
the hell are you
duels.
talking about? Now here's the secret though, because I
Okay.
tried with a lot of things, and getting the
Okay.
cheese sauce right is the toughest thing. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, with any cheese sauce, it's just like, a little butter, you melt in the cheese, and you add milk, basically.
Okay.
Okay. Now, don't buy the pre-shredded cheese. Okay. That stuff stinks.
Okay.
Okay.
The
What
the
you
the pre-shredded
non-dairy.
non-dairy
Yeah.
cheese. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to buy the block. There's a dia block. Okay. Cheddar. Okay. And
Cheddar.
then
Okay.
you shred it, and you
Oh,
shred it and it gets nice and thin. And
right.
then you melt it with the butter and you add the milk, and it gets cheesy, bro. It gets cheesy. So I cooked the noodles. I cooked that threw little peas in. I like a little peas in there. Sometimes it's really good with chicken, bro. But
Oh,
put
you
some
put
peas.
peas in the mac and cheese?
Hell yeah, you need a little pop in there.
Okay. Okay.
And then that was it. And then you pour the cheese sauce all over it, and it's amazing. But it's funny, my niece like tried it, and And kids are so funny. Like they say something, you don't even think of it. And you're like, oh, it's just some kid talk. But then I look back and it made a lot of sense because she said she tried it. She's Gus, this kind of tastes like donuts.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's just some kid talk, right? But
Right.
then the next day I realized when I was using the milk, I did the almond milk, non-dairy, but it was vanilla flavored almond milk.
Oh, there you
So
go.
it did add that sweet taste, which didn't need to be in there. So I kind of messed it up a little. But if I didn't do that, it would have been perfect, bro.
So wait, hold on. So you've invented a sweet mac and cheese, basically.
Wow. Hey, you know what's funny? Back when I worked at the ballpark, they'd have to feed us before the games, right?
Well,
And
hold on. I like the way you phrased that. They had to feed us.
yeah, the
Like
company, they fed us. They had to
they
feed us
fed no, but you
before a
said they
shift.
had to. I know, but it sounds you said it, they had to feed you. Like that was a part of the contract, right?
It
Like,
was no, because you're working, you don't have time for a food break. So you got
oh,
to
okay,
eat
okay.
before the game. Once the game starts, there's no breaks.
Yes,
You
no
know what I
break.
mean?
Okay, okay. All right. So
Because it's nonstop. So
okay.
point is, uh, this guy, he was like this gay black chef, and he was very flamboyant and very loud and but very southern, right? And
Right.
he made mac and cheese, but he made two types. He made regular mac and cheese, and then he had his sweet mac and cheese. With basically, he just kind of put sugar in it. But dude, it was so good. I started putting it at home. I'd start making it, and it was like there was
Really,
something about it, and yeah, I loved it. But
dude,
it's probably not
sugar.
good for you. But
Yeah, sugar is the worst for you, man. Come on, especially white refined cane sugar. That joint is the worst for you, but it's so good. You know, sugar is the most addictive thing on the planet. Did you know that?
that's I've heard that. Is that
Yeah,
that's what it is?
sugar is the most addictive thing on the planet, more so than um, heroin and oxycontin and whatever else. Only because it's so prevalent. It's everywhere. Every store you go in has a mound of sugar available, be it in soda, candy,
Yeah,
just foods, processed foods. Like there's sugar everywhere. So it's the one thing that everyone's eating all the time. So they say
yeah.
sugar is the most addictive thing on the planet, man.
That wow.
So,
Yeah, I can
and
see
now you
that.
got sugar. Now you got sugar mac and cheese.
Well, I didn't make, this is like 20 years ago. That was, but yeah, that was it wasn't bad though. I'll be honest. It was pretty good. I'd always
It's
get the
pretty good.
sweet. I'm like, I'm gonna get the sweet.
Hey man, look, I grew up, man. I played this. Sugar is never frowned upon, right? Ever, no matter what it is. Dude, when I was a kid, I used to put sugar in my grits, right? Like I
Oh,
didn't
yay. That's not too bad. I put syrup because they need sweet, man. Grits are
exactly serve the
terrible
same thing.
without a little sweet.
Nah, they're not terrible, but I put like
They're
this. I didn't like them that much. I'll be honest, I didn't like them that much. And so what I would do is I would like chop up my egg, put that in the grits, and then I chop up my sausage, I put that in the grits. So
everything's going in.
everything's going in the grits. And so it's like I would have a little bit of grits with a lot of egg and sausage in it. And basically it was like not eating the grits at all. And then you add a little sugar, you're like, oh yeah, it's a wrap, son. Like I could eat this all day.
Well, that was like me with oatmeal. I'd cover that mofo in sugar, dude. Sugar and milk.
Oh, okay. So here's my oatmeal recipe. You ready? My
All
oatmeal
right.
recipe
All
is
right.
this: is it's organic oats and oatmeal, whatever, right? And then honey, a spoonful of honey, a spoonful of acai powder,
A what? What
walnuts,
kind of powder?
acai,
Oh,
ACAI,
acai.
yeah, acai from
Acai,
Brazil,
bruh.
acai, acai, acai. I think it's
No,
acai,
dude, it's acai.
acai. Okay,
Acai berry. They look like
acai
they're in
berry.
palm trees.
Yeah, yeah, and they're super high in antioxidants,
Yeah,
and
they're good for you.
they're great for. It's like it's a superfood. It's a
Yeah.
superfood. So I put my spoonful of honey. I put my spoonful of acai,
Acai. No,
acai,
I'm
acai.
terrible at saying it too, but I'm
Okay,
pretty sure it's acai.
acai powder, walnuts. Oh, walnuts,
Walnuts are good.
golden walnuts are great. They're good for your brain. Golden raisins, dude. Mix that joint up. Ooh, every bite is like a bite of like I don't know Pac-Man power pellets. I swear, it's just like.
Remember that Snoop Dogg album when he's like, what do you call nuts on a wall? Walnuts. What do you call nuts on a chest? Chestnuts. What do you call nuts on the chin? Chin nuts. No, you got a dick in your mouth, motherfucker.
You know who that is, right?
Uh-uh.
That's Dolomite.
Oh, that's Dolomite?
That's Dolomite.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, that's Dolomite. That's one of his old ones.
So was that a clip of Dolomite on the album?
I think so. I think that was.
I can't remember.
I think it was a clip of Dolomite. I think. Did you watch that movie Dolomite on Netflix?
Yeah, it was good. I remember seeing the original when I was a kid too.
No way. You saw the original?
Not a kid, but like, maybe right when I was getting, like teenager, getting into comedy, maybe. But because I heard so much about it, I was like, oh, I got to see this Dolomite. I mean, it's really poorly, shot. The movie did a really good job, but I do remember like a fight scene and there's like a boom mic in the shot and stuff.
Oh, dude, I love that. Like, and the killing part was that was not on purpose, right? That was totally a mistake.
Oh no, right? Yeah, totally.
Totally a mistake. But one of my favorite movies of all time, Black Dynamite, with Michael Jai White. Have you ever seen Black Dynamite?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Dude, Black Dynamite is one of the funniest movies ever because they take all those mishaps from films and they do it on purpose. Like, so the scene where the guy is like, he's getting hit, but he's like this, like you see the punch stop here, right? And the guy's like, ugh, it's like, ugh, right? So they do it deliberately. There's a scene, I'm gonna show you right now with my microphone. There's a scene where the boom mic is in the scene, right? He's like this, but Black Dynamite is like this. He's like, hey, look, when I talk to you, you gotta listen to what I'm saying, because I don't want you don't come around here and just say whatever you want to. Like, he acknowledges the boom mic is in the scene. Like, he's funny, dude, it's hilarious. He's acknowledging it because it's so close to him, but he's still trying to do the dialogue. He's like, hey, look, Black Dynamite, don't play none of that stuff around here. Don't you come in my neighborhood bringing that to you. Dude, it is the best. One of my favorite movies of all time.
So it's like a spoof movie.
Yeah. And it's phenomenal. I would recommend anybody who can hear this and who's watching this right now, I'm telling you, watch Black Dynamite. You will laugh your ass off. I promise you, you'll laugh out loud uncontrollably.
Yeah, it'd be interesting interviewing artists too, because whenever I interview them, when I do the online trivia, like sometimes they're not as they're not like comics all loud demanding the attention. They're like, I put my stuff in my work.
Yeah, exactly. They're like my rap sheet. Go look at my pictures hanging on the wall. Tell me what you think about what I did. How did it make you feel? Like, okay, all right, cool, man. All right, relax. Yeah, comedians, right? Comedians are it's like, so hey, how's your day? Oh man, I got up and it's a performance, right? You get all this.
And these comedians are so annoying. I'm like at the point, like, shut up, I don't care anymore.
Exactly. And as Greg Edwards would say, hey Reg, you all shoulders, Reg. Right? That's a comedian. But artists are like this. Artists are like, it's like, so how's your day been? And artists are like, it's been good. You're like, are you sure? It's like, it's been a great day. The thing is with art is you have to allow the art to.
Oh, here he comes, dude. He's entering. Yeah, buddy. Sweet. There he is. There he is, baby. All right. Well, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time.
So let me get it out of the way right away, because I don't want to mess up the pronunciation of your name. So is it Jad El Khoury?
It's Jad El Khoury.
Okay, so your first name is Jad. I could call you Jad.
Jad. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Jad El Khoury.
All right. Well, sweet. I love it. Well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. You're calling us from Norway right now?
Yeah. At the moment, I'm in Oslo.
Oh, nice.
I came here almost a year ago.
Okay.
I came from Beirut, from Lebanon. I lived all my life in Lebanon, and I only lived abroad once in Kuwait, and now in Oslo. That's it. It has been a year in Oslo. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this: what made you decide on Oslo?
A friend of mine, he just finished last year his studies at the university where I am studying now. So he suggested a program which is art and public space, and I looked it up. It was like everything I wanted, like everything I wanted to learn and study and develop in my practice was there in this program. And then I looked a bit about Oslo, and I saw how it's the real complete opposite of Beirut on all levels, like in every way you can imagine. It's the complete opposite of Beirut. So I thought it could be an enriching experience in order to balance, a bit between where I come from and how things are seen from here, a complete different perspective. Sorry?
Have you lived in the winter time yet?
Yeah, last winter I was here, and it was really tough, like so tough.
Oh, yeah.
It was like -10 for I don't know,
Celsius,
2 months
right?
or a month. Yeah, Celsius.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, Lebanon is a warm country, so yeah, that was really tough.
Yeah.
And it's too dark. It's like you have only 1 hour, 2 hour of light. It's not sun, it's just like small light.
Wow.
And that's it.
Wow.
So what do you do during that? Like, yeah, like is that that's gotta be depressing.
Actually, I was spending that time mostly reading and working for school. And especially now with COVID, like everything was kind of stopped everywhere. So I felt it's a good time for me to like just sit and try to, I don't know, learn more about my interests and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and dig deeper in those topics that I work around in my art in general.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's great. So let me ask you this. So in Lebanon, it doesn't snow, I would imagine.
No.
No.
We have snow, we have ski. I used to teach ski, by the way, when I was in university. The landscape of Lebanon, you have from north to south the beach. Then just after the beach, directly you have high mountains.
Oh, okay.
Mountains also, they are from north to south. And some of these mountains are around 3,000 meters above sea level.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So you get snow for sure. Yeah.
And on those ones, yeah, you have snow and you have ski slopes and everything. And then after this, now it's a geography lesson. After this,
we are Americans.
You have the valley. There's a valley in between these mountains and the next series of mountains, which is becoming Syria. Then it's another. Then it's the border with Syria. But in this valley, between those two series of mountains, north to south, it's where they plant hashish.
Oh, really?
Oh, they plant. Okay, that's
wow.
That's where the
Sal's thing. Okay. Plant the hashish.
Have you gone skiing in Norway?
Yeah, Norway has. You can. Yeah, it's really good for winter sports. Actually,
You've done it. So you've gone in the mountains up there.
It's very easy. You take the metro from the city.
Wow.
And the last stop is the ski slope.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah.
They make it really easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we ask?
Let's get into it, man. I want to know his story. All right. So
okay. Well, okay. Can you start at the beginning? Like
you were born. I even know where he was born. Babda. Am I saying that right? Lebanon.
Yeah.
How far is that from Beirut?
It's in the car, if there is no traffic, it's 5 minutes.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow.
So you're right there.
You're right there.
But
okay.
You never arrive in 5 minutes. Like there's only maybe at 4 a.m. if the roads are empty, you arrive.
Okay.
But during the day or like in normal hours, even if it's not rush hour, it needs half an hour at least.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Wow.
It's like in LA a lot.
And so,
Uh,
yeah.
all right. So you
So
grew up there, and so you grew up right after the war ended. Like you were born like 2 years. You were what, 2 years old when the war ended, right?
Yes, yes. I
And
was born in 1988, and the war finished at 1990.
okay.
It's
oh
we're
wow, okay.
talking about the civil war, because since that civil war we had so many mini wars, you know, like
Mhm.
not one that lasts too long. But that was the civil war that affected mostly the country, and we are still until today paying its prices. And everything you are seeing now that is happening in Lebanon is the result of the traces of that civil war. Like the same war leaders that led this war and fought each other. When the war ended, they became the politicians, and they are
Mhm.
still the politicians today.
So in essence, they're still fighting, just not
Uh,
with bombs or guns, but now with their words.
no, those leaders made a deal between each other, and they
Okay.
stopped the fight, so the war ended. But
Uh,
this deal kind of protected them in a way to stay politicians and to stay in power and kind of divide the cake, you know,
Yeah.
like they divided Lebanon between themselves. And this we can see in everything in the daily life, you know, like for example, electricity is like the basic needs that you need. These politicians are in control of it, and um, how to say it, like the clientelism became more there. Like everyone, to get his basic need, he have to know someone who knows someone who knows this party.
Oh
uh,
wow. Oh wow.
You know,
Okay.
wow.
So what was the Civil War about initially? Like what was the whole conflict at the very beginning?
I'm not. When we are kids in Lebanon, we don't study at school the history of the civil war, the recent history of Lebanon, and you get many angles. Like from your relatives, you hear a story, and from your friend at school, you hear another story. So we grow up lost and not sure what happened exactly. Now they are becoming like there. We see a bit more of awareness on this subject, and we see that people like the post-war generation who are fed up with these stories and these conflicts, who really wants a change. You can start seeing that they are doing initiatives and trying to bring more awareness about this topic. And yeah, the people are like everyone is aware of the politics that are happening because you cannot escape it. It's not a choice if you want to listen to politics and know what's happening in the country, because you are breathing the corruption every day, and with the pollution in Beirut, you are. I don't know. You go to your house, you don't know if you will have water when you open the.
Hmm.
So you need
Wow.
to be always following and knowing what's happening politically, because it follows you. Like, you cannot escape it.
Wow. So that must
Uh,
be oh go ahead.
well, I was gonna, yeah, that's got to be crazy. And then you were saying as a kid that has to be confusing, and then your whole environment, you're seeing just blown out buildings and destruction. And I'm kind of curious, like, when did you like start wanting to make that prettier or make that different looking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when did you first recognize it?
I remember as a kid being in the car and looking at those buildings, and they have a very dark vibe to them. You know, like they
Mm-hmm.
are huge in scale. They are spreading, like for the people who lived the war, they are serving only to remind them of these bitter memories. And for the people who did, like the post-war generation, they when they see them, it brings you to the stories of these memories. So and they are everywhere. And yeah, what I try to do actually is to change this angle or this perspective that people are looking at those buildings from. Instead of seeing this dark picture, I try to, even if it's for a second, make them see it in a different perspective, in a more positive one. Yeah, I hope it could make a change. I hope.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. How old were you? How old were you when you saw that, or when you decided that that was a thing for you, as far as noticing the effect of those buildings? Like what age?
Okay, so how much time I have?
Whatever you want, man.
Whatever
And
you
I
want. We're
edit
here
it,
for you,
so
brother.
don't even worry about it. I'll clean it
Yeah.
all up. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, because this is so interesting.
It's
So,
you. It's whatever you got to do.
yeah, don't. I mean, look, we're here for you, and your story is so potent, right? And it's so powerful that we want you to have the platform and the means and the time to express it fully the way you feel comfortable. Yeah.
So then I'm gonna tell you how I arrived. The process, the progress.
Okay.
That's where I am now. So at school, the first encounter with art was at school when the homework we had to do is to draw a rabbit, and I had the sketchbook where I did so many trials, and then the clean paper where I did the perfect rabbit, and I take it to the teacher, and he was so interested in the sketch where I was trying, where it's many lines over each other. And always the drawing class was interesting for me, even though the class, it was their break time kind of, because not many students were interested, and they used it to just I don't know, enjoy themselves, and go crazy after the boring classes. So, that was the first memory of the encounter with art. And when it comes to word traces, the buildings. Also, I remember I was a kid when I saw them. When I saw a building we call the Egg, it used to be a cinema, and it's shaped like an egg. It's abandoned because of the Civil War, and it has a really weird structure. I can maybe send you. I don't know if you can show the picture. And
I didn't. I'll find it.
The first when I started basically with drawing murals.
Okay.
With these illustrations that I do since childhood, and then I painted the characters for the first time on word traces in Beirut. That was around 10 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, so you're like 18 or 23? You were already in your 20s when you first did it?
Yeah, something like that. And to do that project, I tried first to see who's the owner of the building, and it's a building that is full with bullet holes and missile holes.
There's the egg, real quick. That's the egg, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So that's my first memory of the word traces, like you see in Beirut. We have so many bullet holes, like everywhere. This is normal. You don't see them at the end. But as accidental monuments like this one, it's few. You have this one. You have the tower where I did the installation with the curtains. I'll talk about that later. So the first time I used my characters on the word traces.
Okay, I'm going to show your characters real quick. Potato nose, right?
Yeah.
There they are.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah, those are kind of on a personal level. It's meditating for me. When I was a kid in class, and to protect myself from all this brainwash we go through at school, and from also boredom, this was my way to go into my own world, and it's the meditation through repetition. It's like in any type of meditation.
It's amazing. None of the lines cross. Like you do, it's like such a flow.
It is a flow.
Yeah.
And I take back control when I want to add the eyes or the mouth or the teeth. This is when I take back control, but then I flow again with the fluid lines.
So let me ask you this. So you'll draw all before you add the eyes and the mouth and things of that nature, you will just draw lines and just connect them, and then you'll go back and add.
It's not like I finish the fluid part, then I put the eyes and mouth. It's in between. Like I
Okay.
flip a bit with the lines and forget where I am and what I'm doing, and then go back and like focus and add some eyes. Then again I float and then I come back. So it's it's not
Okay.
like
I like that float.
Yeah, I love the faces. I love all the different faces because they seem to capture a lot of different emotions, right? Like in there's some that like they're smiling, then there's others that are like surprised. So is
Here's
that
another one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like okay.
So that's the murals, and I started also beside the details like that you see in the drawings themselves, the composition, like when you see the work from far, the composition could have a meaning and could be also have an extra layer to the meaning, and then this is where I did the concept of single man. Can I share screen and show you the pictures?
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
sure.
can, please. I
Yeah.
got this one of single man
wow.
also. I have a few.
Much easier for me,
Oh wow, this is amazing. I love, and so single man is the guy who's right in the middle, the large guy with the brown.
Yeah.
That's considered single man, and then the others are potato nose.
All right.
Exactly.
So yeah, let me ask you about you would just you would paint these characters yourself before you started doing murals. You would just put them on buildings, and you weren't scaling buildings or anything at this point, were you?
No, those buildings were with permission, so I didn't need to climb. No,
Okay.
because they were. Okay, so I met someone who has an association in Lebanon, or I don't know if association is the good word, but she is supporting street art fully. Like she is promoting street artists by giving them murals and sponsoring their spray cans. And it's an NGO, so it's a non-profit organization. She don't have any agenda behind this, and I'm so happy that we have someone like her in Lebanon. Her name is Iman Assaf, and Art of Change is the name of the
Art of Change.
That's
Art of Change.
I don't know. Okay, and she got me the permission and the lift and the spray cans and everything, and so I didn't need to climb. But the first time I used the ropes on the building was with the building that is full with bullet holes and missile holes, because that one I found out that the owner of the building is from Qatar, from the royal family of Qatar. And he bought the building in 2005. So I thought, in 2006, we had the war with Israel. So I thought that this guy bought a building to invest and then saw a war. So he decided to stop to invest, and the building stayed empty. You go inside, there's no gate, there's nothing. You can go to the roof, there's no doors, nothing. And I felt that if I need to start asking for permissions from the governor of Beirut and the police and the municipality and the owner of the building, it will take me so much time, and there is a big chance they will start asking for money to make it happen, and I don't know.
Okay.
So that's when I decided to learn how to use the ropes, like how to climb. And also, I'm so lucky to have a friend who teach me how to use the ropes. And the teacher of my teacher is Norwegian, living in Bergen in Norway.
Nice.
So if I want to climb here and to paint, I have someone.
Nice.
So anyway, I feel those people that you meet in the process are really. If it's without, like, I can count so many people that without them, I couldn't do everything that I did. Like,
right.
Is this that building?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, look at this, Reg. Look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah, I watched the video because I was going to ask you about the ropes, because I was going to ask if that
Yeah.
was something you already knew, but you just answered the question because I watched the short video of you doing that.
Look at
And I thought it
this.
was, yeah, I thought it was amazing.
Aren't you scared at this? Are you? I mean, that's crazy.
No, man, the ropes were new. Like I bought the ropes new, and
Okay.
I sponsored everything. Everything I had. I paid it for this project, and it wasn't much, but like I was just starting my like work after university.
Mhm.
I studied architecture in Lebanon, and after that, I worked like a year in an architecture office. And from that money, I started to do things like to
Oh
make.
wow.
Okay. Nice.
Well, let me ask you this. So you before you do the design on the building, like you have the whole idea, because I believe I watched the video too, where you have the whole idea, and then I'm just curious, how do you get it from the paper to the building so exact and at such a huge scale?
Yeah, but there's no. It's not like this. Like I don't copy what is on the paper to the. Like when I'm
No.
on the thing, it's just it's not a drawing that I've planned before. It's just the same technique that I use on the paper. Okay, yes, that's the same thing on the wall, but not the same drawing. You know,
Okay.
Wow.
so the
Wow.
same thing with the floating lines, then taking back control
Yeah.
happens on the wall and the street.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
How
So
long
is
is
it,
this building? Like, how long did this building take to do? Is this all like all night? You do it in one night?
No, it was three attacks, 3 days.
okay.
Okay.
On Sunday mornings, normally is the best because the streets are the most empty, like on Sunday morning.
Mhm.
Do you ever
Wow.
worry about getting caught?
Yeah. And what would have happened if you had?
It's not like in the States or in Europe or no, it's not that scary to be caught.
Oh, okay.
You should start telling people it was.
No, I mean the country is so corrupt, and this explosion that you saw that happened last year is pure corruption. Like when you
Right.
see
Mm.
some chemicals that can detonate and kill thousands of people are stored for 6 years in the center of the city because of
Oh, wow.
corruption and because of this war leaders who became politicians. You know, like they are ignorant to the maximum. And when you see this happening, I don't really care if the police will come and tell me anything about the drawing on a wall. You know, like, and plus the police at the moment. It's so sad. It's so sad, really, what's happening. But their salary became nothing. So I don't know. Like it became so easy if someone comes who have money to bribe the police. It became
Mm.
so easy.
Oh, wow.
Before it was maybe a bit under the table, just a bit, not too much. But now it's too obvious.
Wow.
Anyway.
Okay.
I'm not the best to talk about the politics, that's for sure. But
Well, no, I mean,
we love
any
talking
insight.
it.
Yeah, we love talking
We
it.
don't know anything about it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
any insight is a ton of insight just to get a different perspective, you
Yeah.
know. So, okay, so I want to ask you this. So the name Potato Nose, how did you come up with that name?
Well, now I changed. I kind of changing this branding. I don't know. I don't know. It started just because my characters have noses like a potato.
Okay.
That's well,
That was it. Okay. Okay.
Next year. So I don't know. It was I was maybe 18 when I feel I changed. Things changed. Even what I'm doing now have changed. I'm not drawing as much as I did before.
Okay.
I still do it, but I understand more where its category is. I feel it's more design, but I don't think it's art really. I think it's more design. And I tell you why, just to be clear, because when I do these drawings, okay, on the personal level, I'm getting this meditation to do them.
Mhm.
But what am I giving to the world by doing them? You know, by drawing a painting with my characters. What will change in the world if I do this? I felt at some point that this is not enough. It needs to be scaled up. This way of thinking started when I used them on the war traces. I felt that the facade, the wall, the story of this building that I'm communicating with through my drawings could be communicated with also with other ways, with other materials that could also relate to the people living in this space. Like, I'm not the only one living in Beirut, and not everyone living in Beirut love my illustrations. So I cannot be that selfish to bring my own style and put it on something related to the collective memory in the city. It was a lesson, you know, and I learned it not in an easy way after mistakes, but I learned it. And that's how I did the Tower of the Wind installation, which was
yeah, here we go.
A big turning point in my
this one's amazing, and this is one of your first ones.
This is what made you an international star, right?
Yeah, this opened so many things. I couldn't believe it. Was overwhelming.
This is it, right?
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this.
How many stories is that building?
30 stories, right? 400 drapes.
It's 42 stories, 400
42. Wow.
42 and how many drapes? 400?
400 windows.
400. Wow. And it was you and a team? Or how many people on your team?
So this building, okay, let me start with the permission part.
Okay.
We start talking about this, so we just talked about it. And for this one, there's an army base in the first 4 floors. Okay.
Okay.
And
this dude went into an army base building, man.
Yeah, so to enter without permission to an army base, it's
wow.
Like, it's risking your life, you know. Like,
absolutely.
You don't do that. So I had to take the permission from the Ministry of Defense. But the building is not owned by the Ministry of Defense. This building is owned by Solidaire, a private company in Beirut, who was created after the Civil War and was responsible for the rebuilding of the city center of Beirut.
Okay.
In reality, what they did, they are just a washing money machine, and they destroyed so many Roman ruins and so many old buildings in the city center. It's just, it's a big crime what they did, really, and they own the building, they own this tower. Already people don't like them, and when they rebuilt Beirut, they sold most of it to the Gulf. People from the Gulf were buying as an investment, and then the situation wasn't good in Lebanon, so no one used them, and at the moment they are just empty. So the city center of Beirut became a ghost town. No one goes there. It's just a very bad urban planning project, and it was not in my plans to ask them to take permission to install on their building. And I was very lucky that when the Ministry of Defense gave me the permission, they didn't communicate with Solidaire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How and why, and I don't know. But this is what happened. They gave me a permission to enter and work without communicating with Solidaire, and Solidaire didn't know. And I went in. We were 6. We were installing for 6 days. And the building has no electricity, nothing. I had to bring electricity to the cable. Like, I brought a long cable, and there was a construction site in front of the tower, and I took electricity from them.
Okay.
And we installed for 6 days. The curtains were closed while we were installing, so no one from outside could see what's happening inside. And
did you stay and sleep in the building, or did you go home at night?
No. We come back early. We leave when it's sunset.
Okay.
And after 6 days of working, we opened the curtains all together. And it was a Saturday. Sunday, I had the time to go take pictures, enjoy the installation. And then, because it was, the curtains were moving with the wind, and the building was shimmering. Really, it was every
Wow.
second you see like waves of
Yeah.
colors, and then darkness, and then color. Because the window is super black and the curtain very colorful, and when it moves, it was really something to stand in front of this. And anyway, Monday I got a call from Solidaire, and they tell me that you have to remove the installation.
Oh no. Why? No. Oh, because they didn't know that you had permission to do it.
Yeah, no, they
Oh.
didn't. No, because they are the owners, and I didn't ask them.
Oh, because yes.
I told them I have the agreement of the Ministry of Defense, but
Right.
that is not enough. You have to ask the owners, and I didn't.
And
But
it's
they
just
didn't,
sitting there though, right? It's just an empty
it's
building
just, yeah,
sitting there.
exactly. Like it makes their building look better.
I know, it's very weird. Like, it's very weird, but I guess because I don't know, I
Like it.
didn't ask them. They were upset, and they asked me to remove it. That's
You
why.
know what? You know what it was? They were just jealous. They were jealous that they didn't think of it, right?
The owners of the building. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. Because I feel there is a bit big ignorance when it comes to culture and art
Right.
and the people with power in Lebanon and who have such companies and who have this much of money. Because as I told you, their background is leading a war and leading militia, and suddenly you put them in positions like ministers, and you cannot expect them to work. You cannot. They still use this technique of making people poor and dividing people in every way possible, just so they can buy their vote and buy them by really cheap, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
See, that's what I love about you, though. You are very politically aware, socially aware, and you have no problem talking about it and showing it in your work. And I think I wish more artists did that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
That's nice of you, and thanks for giving like the chance for my voice to to go far. And yeah, I mean, I would have never been able to reach your public without this interview. So thank
Yeah,
you.
it's pretty. Yeah, it's cool. So you went through and you had to remove all of them with your team again. You had to remove all the curtains.
I started calling everyone who knows them and might change their mind, and they were a bit confused between each other. I feel that maybe some of them wanted it to stay, some of them didn't. It took them 10 days, and I didn't remove them when they told me to remove it. Like I kept it. And after 10 days, they sent me an official warning from the court saying that if you don't remove it in 42 hours, we will sue you.
Wow. Okay. So
when I know that there will be a court, and I don't want this headache, and I removed them, and but they survived 10 days, and I feel that there is also something strong in the temporality of this installation.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because to give this pretty image with all these colors, like it's such like an eye candy to see this, but it's not real. We hope Beirut could be like this one day. It's a glimpse of what we hope Beirut could be, but Beirut is not at the moment like this, and it's a lie to keep such an installation for a long time.
Oh, I love that. That's so true.
Deep
that's
artist
deep.
thought,
yeah,
man.
that's really
I love
deep.
that.
Yeah, no, it's great, man. That's beautiful. I mean, because it's true, right? It's like giving a glimpse of what it can be, and knowing that in order for it to become that, it's going to be a way bigger project than 6 people, right? Like it's going to be a collective coming together to make change.
The whole country.
And for the whole country, but you gave them a glimpse of what it could be, right? And that's powerful. That is powerful. Yeah. Yeah, very powerful.
Okay, so then this now happens, and then how's the story get out that then you started getting known? Because then I know you started doing exhibits all over Europe.
Yeah. So after this installation, I got so much. It was featured in so many international art magazines, and I've I've been interviewed by students who are doing a thesis about Beirut and Lebanon, and so many and from so many universities in Austria or Germany or Netherlands. So the project started to be like to reach more and more, and to be known by more people. And from that, opportunities came also. You know, like I've been invited to Sicily to install
Yeah.
curtains.
My father's from Sicily. I wanted to ask you about
Yeah.
that. How was it?
He was super excited that you're going to Sicily. I just want to make that part known. He's half Sicilian, so the fact that Sicily came
I've
up
never
a little
been,
bit.
man. I gotta go. And here, this is it, right? This is what you did in Sicily.
I used this as a sign and came to Sicily that time. Anyway, that's Sicily. Yes, it's so every time the curtains go to a new place, they change their shape depending on the context. And what I try to do is to find an element from the urban fabric and this new place that I go to, that I can shape my curtains to look like it. Like in Sicily, you have so many plastic stripes on the doors of the coffee shops that you move to enter. They keep the air conditioning inside and the bugs outside, the flies, sorry, outside.
Right.
And yeah, here you can see that I'm trying with my curtains to imitate something.
Is there a reasoning behind the colors and what goes where?
They are from the tower. Like everything, all the invitations I got abroad, I took with me curtains from the installation I did on the tower in Beirut.
Wow.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow, that's cool.
But what's important to say about that tower, like why did it take so much attention? It's the story of the building itself before my curtains came to it. This building was supposed to be the superstar building. It was supposed to be the highest building in the Middle East at that time when they were building it. People were so looking forward for not only for this building, but for many things like the cinema also, or the Holiday Inn Hotel, or so many places that got that became a ruin now because of the civil war. So and during the war, it was used by snipers. It was used as a prison for torture.
Oh wow!
Wow.
So, yeah. So this building has so many stories for the people who lived the war, and so many stories. So many stories of these memories for the post-war.
Were you scared when you're up there installing it at this day because of the military and everything?
Yeah, it has a negative vibe. You can feel it. You can feel it in the stone and the drawings on the walls. You have so many hates happening. Hate quotes, hate writings on the walls, and very extreme religious ones, very extreme like ideologies. Very I don't know. It was so hard being in this building. The same thing with the Holiday Inn Hotel. Also, when I entered the Holiday, I felt the same because it had so many blood inside. You know? But for example, in the cinema and the egg. This is one of the first monuments that when the revolution happened in Beirut, the people reclaimed it and it became for the public, you know, like suddenly you see people standing on the egg, and it was I don't know, if you see pictures from the revolution, Lebanon, it was one of the monuments of the revolution. And in this building, when you enter, because there was no fights in it, maybe it's the story that makes you feel the space. I don't know, but in the cinema, I didn't feel the same thing as Burj Al Mur, as this tower and the Holiday Inn Hotel.
Well, I love the curtains just because now knowing the history of the building, right, understanding a little bit of it and some of the negativity, like the energy that it possessed, to add so much color and vibrance to it, it's like reframing the narrative around the building to some degree. Now, the building is still there today?
Yeah, the building is still there. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think they'll ever do anything with it? I mean, because it seems like the Civil War and the buildings in Beirut, they still, you talk about a lot of abandoned buildings and still seeing bullet wounds and things. I mean, not bullet wounds, but bullet holes and things of that nature, because they do carry a certain amount of energy. Is there any plan for some of those buildings to be demolished and to rebuild? Because like you said, seeing them, that's why you're painting them, because you want to change the narrative around them, right? But as long as they're still there, they still carry that energy. Is there any I guess, plans to just wipe the slate clean and start over?
There's nothing declared officially that there is a plan to destroy any of them. For the tower of Solidaire of this company, they didn't say that they will demolish it. And for the Holiday Inn, it's many owners and conflict between each other, so we don't really know what they will decide. One of the owners want to demolish, the other didn't. But if you want my opinion of what should be done at those buildings, I imagine that they should be museums and places where art take place, and we can collectively transform this negative energy inside into a positive one, you know.
Okay.
Here's
I like that.
another one of you did something similar in Dunkirk, which I thought was really amazing.
So yeah, they started to travel. They traveled the tower installation was 2018, and 2019 I traveled many places to install them. Then Corona came, but those places were Dunkirk, Sicily. What we see here is an art center in Dunkirk called Allo Sucre, and they had an exhibition about the wind, and they wanted to exhibit the wind on their facade. So that's why they asked me to.
And they contact you to come out there?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really awesome, man.
So is that when you first started getting you started getting big jobs after the tower, after you did the Mur Tower?
Yeah, I started getting those commissions. That's true.
Nice.
Nice.
And,
So, okay.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this. Sal is currently wearing a watch.
Yeah, this is it, buddy. The Swatch. There it
Swatch.
is. It's really good at covering hairy arms.
and I have to say this. I'm also wearing a Swatch, but unfortunately, I don't have one with your design on it. This is a NASA. This is one of the NASA watches. But I will say this. I'm saying this now on air, right? So everyone can see. I will be getting one of the watches.
I don't think you can anymore. I think this is a limited edition.
It's a limited edition. There are no more?
There's no more.
Oh,
I got late on the train. They didn't have any more in the US. I had this shipped out from England.
So now in order to get one, I'm gonna have to pay like 3 times the amount.
You're gonna have to go deep. Jad, do you have any? Do you have a Swatch?
I only have one that I use, but
they gave you one. You got one.
Yeah. That's
okay. I was gonna say they didn't make you pay for your own watch design.
Is this the building it's based off of?
Yeah.
Where's that?
That's in Vitry-sur-Seine. It's Paris.
Oh, this is in Paris. Wow. And is it still up there?
Yes, this one is.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, can I ask you, what is the orange represent?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what is the orange represent?
Again, we go back to this design thing. That's when I see. Yeah, it's a design thing, and okay, the orange could be a warm color for a place that is that don't have a lot of sun. And I can talk about this forever, but it doesn't feel right. I'm trying to do art that can make a change. So yeah. I feel that this is more decorative, that they can, like here in this area, you have so many like people who are unemployed and selling drugs and things like that. It's kind of the suburb of Paris. And they are trying to change their image through street art. And suddenly the people, the residents there, they are starting to have this to becoming happy with their new reputation for their suburb as the capital of the street art. Like everyone who wants to street art goes there, and it changed a bit the reputation of the suburb, the street.
Yeah, and it looks cool, man.
This is a good thing. Yeah, for that I'm ready to do decorative art again. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I love it.
Can I ask? So, like, how did you just got a call? How did Swatch get in touch with you?
Yeah,
it's through Arte Laguna Prize. I applied to a prize in Venice called Arte Laguna,
Mhm.
And I won this prize for the urban art section with the tower installation. And from there, I got the Swatch connection.
Wow.
Okay. And
And
how
then
many?
who
Okay.
picks the design? Did you pick that building in Paris, or they pick it? Like how? Who
So
does?
they give you certain things you can do and certain things you can do. Like you can choose if the band you want it to be transparent or not. You can choose. I mean, as a designer, you can choose to have the glass that is behind the hands of the watch transparent or not. You know. So
Okay.
there are things you cannot print on the side. You cannot print from the back. You can.
Oh, you're right.
And with
I
those
love the orange transparent though. That was a good move. I love that orange. I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, my idea didn't completely. When I designed the swatch, it looks like an egg, no?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do the opening of or the launching of this watch in the egg in Beirut.
Oh, that'd been cool.
Oh yeah, that would have been really cool. Let me ask you this:
But
how many of those
yeah,
did they make? What was the number?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, okay, but it was just so it wasn't a limited number; it was a limited time.
They
Yes.
say limited edition. Limited edition.
Yeah.
Limited edition. Okay, so just until supplies, for as long as
Uh,
supplies
like
last.
I've been following because lately, so anyways, they started selling it in spring 2018, and they stopped after 2 years in spring 2020. They
Oh, I
stopped.
could have got
So
one last year.
like,
I mean,
it looks like
I tell you, I got this in 2019. I want to say like 20, maybe no, I got this the end of 2018, and it was hard to find, and I haven't seen it, and especially in the US.
no, but you can buy it online normally, but even online they stopped now. So it feels like every 2 years the design is taken from the market. So
Okay,
Wow.
okay.
so you know, yeah.
So let me ask you this. So now you're in Oslo and you're at university. Are you working on anything right now, or do you have something coming up?
Yeah, that's the thanks. Yeah, thanks. I wanted to talk about this because it's very important what's happening now in the practice. So as you saw, the change that happened from doing the illustrations into then doing installations with materials that are related to the context and the people can recognize them. Now I'm going into a new switch. Is like I'm moving into a new thing, I feel, and this makes me happy because I feel that every now and then something new will pop up and will change my interests and how I see things. So it gives hope, really. So lately I'm gonna tell you the story of the project I've done for school last year.
Oh, good.
And yeah, and from that I can then say what's the new theme maybe of the of this journey of this practice.
Okay.
For that I wish I can show pictures, so maybe I need to send you now the email of the
Yeah. Oh yeah. Put it in the
there's
chat, and
only
I'll see if I
two
can open it.
pictures I would like to show for this.
Oh, this is exciting. We got this is like breaking
This is
news.
underground. Like, yeah, we're breaking news here.
Yeah, we're breaking, a new direction.
He went from the characters to the curtains to now.
And now that's, I mean, and I love that. Once again, that's just the evolution of an artist, right?
Yeah.
The growth and the change and doing something different. Right?
You're like the Beatles. Is this your Sergeant Pepper coming up?
I love it. It's, Sal and I are both comedians, and
yeah.
And as comedians, you're constantly trying to grow and evolve with your storytelling, right? With the details, with the direction you may be going, or even just the content, right? Because if you do the same thing all the time, then you kind of find yourself becoming stagnant or not having as much motivation or interest in what it is. But as you grow as a person and as an individual, and as your experiences change and your life changes, then our art is supposed to change with us, right?
Right.
Because we're evolving as people. And so I'm excited to see what this new
new
direction
just send it to me.
Okay, here we go.
What is he doing? Oh my goodness, this is next level, bro. This is some next level stuff, Reg.
Oh man, I can't see it right now, so I'm excited.
All right, what
I'm
should I
excited.
open first? What should I open first?
Okay, you can open the picture of the house on the street.
Okay, the winking house. Here it is.
Yeah.
All right, let me share it. This is all right, boom.
Oh
Okay.
wow, okay.
So as you know already, that I moved to Oslo 2 days after the explosion in Beirut, and I was still in these traumatic events. I don't know, did I tell you this? No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. We didn't know that
That
part.
was really, really something so tough, you know, arriving here to Oslo to this contrast. And it was very natural to just speak and tell everyone what I've seen and what happened with me, you know, because the building shook. I saw death, you know, I saw all the glass
Hmm.
coming to the house with
Oh
this
my
loud
God.
explosion
Yeah.
voice. But I was lucky to survive it. And 2 days later, after going from a funeral to another, I take the plane to Oslo, and I'm in this complete opposite world. You know, like super peaceful. Everyone is nice and smiling. I couldn't believe this contrast, and it took
All
me
right.
time on a personal level to adapt. But the constant, like, what saved me really was the focus on my studies and school. Like, that was what I'm putting all my energy on in order to stay sane, because there was no one that can understand this pain and what that I'm going through. Even if someone can understand, they cannot, I don't have old friends, let's say, to sit and talk with here. I'm in a new place. I don't know anyone.
Right.
So the art projects were what kind of kept me sane. I hope. I don't know.
No, it's no. I think so. I think so. The fact that you can say it, you're okay. You're okay. But I just before you go on, I just want to say, man, I'm really sorry about that experience, and I'm really sorry that that you were that it impacted you on that level, right? I mean, I think it was horrible for the whole country overall, but also on a personal level, I'm really sorry for that. But I am happy that you were able to find a place where you could find some peace to, you know, to be able to process it in a certain way. So yeah, thank you for sharing this with us too. I didn't know that you had left 2 days after the explosion. I mean, that was you know, just seeing it on the news, it was, you know, I couldn't, it was, you know, we're on the other side of the world. And so we're just watching from afar, but trying to have empathy and understanding the type of impact that it had on the people who were directly related, like in that area. You know, just trying to find that moment, man. It's really hard to process. So yeah, yeah, that was it. I just wanted to say I'm really sorry about that. But yeah.
But you know, what can I do? You know, in such times, I feel you need to save yourself and then try to help the others, because
Right.
it was very close from breaking. Like everyone I know, you know, it was tough on everyone. But I also know that this is happening in many places around the world, and this is not okay. This is not okay. I can try to speak about it through my art, because that's what I know best. But yeah, more than that, I'm really kind of lost. Like, I understand what can we do, you know, like how, as individual, maybe we all agree, but we still, I'm still surprised that this is still happening. You know, it's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Right.
Anyway.
Wow. Okay, so the winking house. So what are we looking at here? This is, I mean, this is amazing, by the way. Like, this is, yeah.
The winking house. So I was walking in the last year, in first year of school. We were asked to propose a project for a new art center that opened in the suburb of Oslo, in one of the suburbs of Oslo, which is a city that is going through urban development process at the moment. You have so many new buildings, new high rises going up, and so much small traditional wooden houses being destroyed with their gardens. And as an architect, I thought this could be a good beginning because it's a place where and that I'm skilled at and I have knowledge on. So I started walking and observing this development that's happening and researching the municipality plans and architectural drawings and things like that. And there was many interesting encounters, but the most interesting one was the winking house. It was when Danielle, my good friend from Lebanon, came to visit me here in Lebanon, and we were walking together in one of the walks I did in the Strand, and she found the house. Now this house is so special. Why? Because not only it's winking through the same type of curtains that I install on abandoned buildings.
Wow.
Coincidence, like what is this coincidence that I find in the other part of the world in Oslo, the same type of curtain that I use on an empty window of an abandoned building, the same thing that I have been doing for years now. So I couldn't continue my walk and as if I didn't see anything. I decided that I want to rescue this wing. And this rescue instinct comes from the experience of Beirut, I'm sure. Like the way the second day the people were in the street cleaning the city, it's just unbelievable. So good to see, everyone in the street, everyone helping each other and cleaning the city. But I felt it was like, if you break a glass, you don't leave it. You have to clean it and remove it now. You feel you have to. So it felt like this a bit, like we couldn't accept that the city is destroyed. So there was this instinct of right now cleaning, trying to fix what happened. So I guess this need to rebuild came from there, and it was also interesting in the sense in the context of this suburb, because this new art center have just moved to a new building, leaving behind their old art center, which was also a traditional building from wood, and it looks like it's part of the marketing campaign of this municipality there, trying to make this change accepted from the people living in this place, in the city, town, becoming a city. So I collected the debris after the demolition. I took the pieces of the wood after they demolished this house. And you can see in the second picture.
Yeah, this is cool. So there it is.
Oh,
And that's it. I rebuilt the wing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Whoa.
Wow. So that's so crazy looking. It looks almost like you built a house.
Yeah, the wall. Yeah.
That's the joke in the school, because it's amazing. The school where I'm going to, they have this amazing space to build installations in this scale. And it's located between many workshops, like the wood, metal, ceramic workshops. And you always have students going from one workshop to another. So you are in the center building this, and you have so many spectators going and coming all the time, which are people very into the art field in general. So building it at school is a show by itself. It's a performance.
Is that a window right in the middle of it?
Yeah, it has two windows, and one of them has a curtain. But the curtain is open this time. You only see a bit of it.
Yeah, I see it on the very top.
Yeah.
And I removed the color that was white because to make it relevant to all houses that are being destroyed, not only to this one. Because I was always thinking not only about what I am feeling, also about the context where I'm working, So it relates more to the history of this town, also the wood, because this town started by woodworkers and things like that.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure I got this clear just before I go forward. Okay. So that the winking house, the original picture, the first one, with the curtains hanging, you didn't put those curtains in the window.
No.
They were just there.
Yes.
Wow, that's okay. Now, yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I just want to make sure that was clear.
Okay, and I see now he's on the other side of the window, this guy, right?
Yeah.
It was winking. Like you had two windows, one of them had the curtain.
Yeah.
It knows like that its owner have left it, like the owner left, and it knows that it's gonna be demolished soon. because half of it is gone, and still it's winking. It's still being sad.
That's what I'm saying. That's awesome, dude. I love that narrative. It's great. But the house is like, I got you. Right?
But
Okay.
the big opening was when I met the owner of the house.
Oh, this is the owner of the house.
This is the owner of the house. This is Yarle. It was on the exam day. And during the exam was in the exhibition space. And during the exam, I was saying that I'm trying so hard and I'm not managing to find the owner of the house. And just after the exam, one of my classmates, she worked her project in collaboration with a rehab center in this town. And she invites the patients to come see the exhibition. And one of the patients recognized the installation. This is my house, he says.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
That's crazy.
That's, you know what that is? I think that's serendipity, right? That's just being in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, right?
That is
And
funny.
that's my new, I think. However, one more thing about Yarle, this guy is the winking man because he has one paralyzed eye because of the trauma and pain from serving in Lebanon.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's called full circle.
Wow.
That's called full circle. That's just like,
Full circle. That's the full
right?
circle.
That's full circle,
Wow.
dude. I mean, it
That's
doesn't get
amazing.
any better. That's amazing. I don't know if, and we got like, this is amazing that we get to hear this story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
serendipities. I don't know how to pronounce it. Can you say it? But I think serendipities. How do you say it?
Serendipitous.
Yeah, it's serendipitous. But I just said serendipity. It's serendipity or serendipitous. So
yeah, I think this should be my future work. You know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, dude. I love it. I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Repurposing and the winking house, and to walk by, to see that, and then to take it, repurpose it, and to want to meet the owner, and then have the owner show up and say, "Yo, this is my like," and then for him to have the winking, he's the winking man. I mean,
From
it's
Lebanon?
just from Lebanon, dude. I don't think
Wow.
no one could have written it better.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, life is amazing like that. Wow, that's really great. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
too.
I wanted, right before we let you go, I wanted to ask you one more thing. I just comment. I saw someone interview and they asked you what you listen to when you paint or when you work. And I'm a big Beethoven fan. And I saw you said Beethoven's Triple Concerto in C major. And I went and downloaded it right after because I didn't have that one.
That's it's one. I really like classical music in general. Like one of the things that moves me the most, I guess. Normally, my inspirations comes from nature. I don't think there's better technology from nature.
Right.
How the plant grow. But if I want to choose something else, I would choose classical music because this feeling you get when you are in the concert hall listening, it has to be live. The speaker is okay, but it has to be live. This energy that comes out of 30 violin together and 30 cello together, it's it's so powerful. So I would choose.
I want to ask you this. Let me ask you this. So, as an artist, and I know you just said you find inspiration from nature, and classical music is the thing that you listen to. Do you have any other artists that you I guess I know as an artist sometimes it's hard to, like, you don't want to copy anyone's style, but is there anyone that has inspired you or people growing up that you saw that you liked?
I used to think like this, that I see this artist and I wish I can be one day like this artist. But you don't need to be like anyone, like just be yourself and you will be amazed how much you can do. At the moment, I'm learning so much at school, how each one of us, now I'm in a place full of artists.
Right.
So if you have this competitiveness happening all the time, we will kill each other at school.
Right.
So at that, it's I don't know. I think it's I'm learning so much how each one is powerful in something, and together we can mix those things that each one is powerful in,
Right,
make
right.
something really great.
It's like being a superhero, right? And
It's a
yeah,
loss of energy, to be able to be spending energy on hate or on jealousy or on wanting to be like someone else.
right.
I feel the loss of energy.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're all like superheroes, right? And we all have our individual powers, and then we come together collectively to make something greater than ourselves. Like we can't all be the same type of hero, right? Like we can't all be Superman. Like everybody's got to be something different. So, wow, that's really great, man. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Well, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening, and thank you for giving me the time and like the space. Really.
Oh,
yeah. Absolutely, dude. This has been wonderful. Yeah, anytime. This has been wonderful. I love, growing up, I drew a lot. I can draw really well as a kid, and I took art in high school. I took art class, and I loved it. I really did. I still have notebooks full of pictures that I used to draw as a kid. But then I got into sports and the art kind of, it took a back seat to my athleticism. But it's always been something that I've admired. I love museums, and I love art, and I love, just trying to figure out what the meaning is for myself versus what the artist is actually saying, things like that. So I appreciate art and artists. And I think that art it's the one thing that, it's purely, subjective, right? And I think anybody can do it on any level, right? Like, it's like I'm not saying everyone can do it on a high level, but, just being able to express yourself in some way. Art is so needed in so many levels, in a way of communicating and coping, and even just, expressing yourself and what you feel, right? So yeah, man, thank you for what you do. Please keep doing it. We are super excited about it. And I'm still going to go look and see if I can find a Swatch watch with one of your designs. So
I will say this gets compliments all the time. Everyone's like, whoa, what is that? And I'm like, well, let me tell you about this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Do you have pieces for sale? Is there any, do
you sell your art anywhere?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do accept, I do take commissions for people who like to have the illustrations, it's just that I don't put it outside on buildings anymore too much, because not everyone who lives in the city likes it. But if someone likes it and wants it at their place, I would be more than happy to do it.
How do people find you, on Instagram or a website?
Yeah, on Instagram I have.
Can you give us your handle? You can just say it on
Potato Nose something. What's the number?
It's my name, Jad El Khoury @.art.
Okay.
I removed the potato nose thing.
Potato nose is done, so he's moved past that. It's like,
for a while I just knew you on Instagram as Potato Nose.
The Nordic effect. I'm becoming professional.
Yeah, he's done that already. Potato Nose, it had its moment. It was great. It's time to move on to the next, right? So
it's a great name.
There it is. Right
I love the name, Potato Nose.
Yeah. So we'll put this up on the podcast when we air it, and we'll also say it out loud so that people can hear it, because this will be both visual and audio. And yeah, man, I'd love for the world to get to know you better and to get to know your art. And I think you're a wonderful artist, man. I'm really excited for you and the future.
Yeah, let me know if you get any commissions in Los Angeles. We'll have to meet up.
Yeah, I might be in the States in spring.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, if you come to San Francisco, let me know. Reggie Steele, I will come out.
Chicago. Is it far, Chicago, from San Francisco?
Chicago's pretty far. That's in the middle of the country. That's 6-hour flight.
So if this is New York, and this is San Francisco on the opposite side, Chicago is like right here.
Yeah, right in the middle.
Right. Yeah, it's like right in the middle. So
well, next time you're in California, let us know.
Yeah, I'll come down to LA, man, just to shake your hand, and we can take a picture together. And hopefully I can get an installation by then. I'll be holding my picture.
There we go.
So,
All
all right.
right, John. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a
Yeah.
great day. Good luck to you. And yeah, we'll be looking out
We'll
for
keep
you.
in touch, man.
Ciao.
All
Ciao.
right, ciao.
Dude, that
There it
was
is,
excellent.
Reggie.
Dude, that was
Yeah,
excellent.
it's
Man,
cool, huh?
I wanted to ask him if he had any siblings, right? Like what his childhood was like as far as like
Oh
siblings
yeah,
and
I
his
forgot.
parents.
I did see an article. He was talking about they were interviewing him, and his mom was making biscuits.
Oh, dude. See,
or
I wanted
cookies for
to
them,
ask him about
but
that just to
yeah.
kind of get an idea of the house, what the house was like that he grew up in, as far as you know, the people who were there, like mom, dad, siblings, brothers. Are there any other artists in the family? You know, and was there some inspiration from maybe somebody else? Like if did his dad draw? You know what I mean? Did his mom draw? Like, is it something that was kind of
Well, you
in
blew
him?
it, bro. Now we don't know.
Oh, that's all good. It's all good. We'll do it next time. But
That
great
was
job,
fun,
Sal.
though. That was good.
Dude, that was fun. I mean, you mentioned it, but I love the fact that he's willing to talk about the political aspect of it. Of
Yeah.
Lebanon and Beirut. And
It was this
you
quote
know,
he had that I loved that made me think of the US. He said, Beirut is in denial of its painful past, hence the healing process of the city is on hold, and we currently live in a new form of civil war. And I was just reading about how the US still is in denial about their past with critical race theory and systemic racism being taught. And it's like it's still there. Our civil war from 150 years ago still hasn't passed.
exactly. You know what it is, man? It's how do I describe this? It is literally the person who, instead of trying to deal directly with the pain of what happened, they are trying to drink the pain away. Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to address it completely. So what they do is they try to act like it doesn't exist by drinking, smoking, getting high,
or telling
just
people they're wrong for saying
or
it
telling
does
people they're
exist.
wrong. Exactly.
Yeah,
just
they
trying
get
to
so
just trying to
xenophobic.
avoid it. Yeah, just
Right.
trying to avoid it completely. And what happens is you push all this stuff down, you push the trauma down without dealing with it. And at some point it builds up so much pressure that the pressure builds up so much that eventually it becomes like a powder keg, and then boom, it blows up. Right.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with the aftermath of that explosion, which is kind of what we saw with the whole George Floyd thing. Because I think during the pandemic, and I wanted to ask him that too, about how the pandemic impacted him, but he did say he did a lot of reading.
Yeah, he did do an
went into
installation too. I'll put it up of a tower with
okay.
more drapes. It was pretty cool.
Okay. Well, what I was gonna say was what we saw during the pandemic was people were not as distracted as they had been. Right. There were no sporting events going on.
Right.
You know, movie theaters weren't open. So now the world, or not the world, but the people in the States got to see exactly what people have been talking about that has been happening in different communities around the world forever, right? For as long as Black people and white people have been here. And they got to see firsthand. And with that, it was like just this release of, you know, like this release of like, this is wrong. Like this can't happen. Like that's like people have been living like this. This has been happening. So the idea of trying not to deal with something and think about that on a global scale, where it's not just, you know, the individual who's not dealing with the fact that, you know, he has some personal issue, right, or something at work, and so he comes home to drink away the pain. No, we're talking about on a high level with the government or with whatever politicians and politics, where they don't want to address what the real issue is. And so they keep trying to sweep it under the rug, or turning a blind eye, or denying it exists.
Or scapegoating.
Right? Or scapegoating, whatever it is, like not dealing with it, thus never resolving it. And then it just keeps coming back. It just keeps bubbling up to the surface, which it will continue to do, because, you know, you can't hold it down forever. So, and to think about that's happening in Lebanon, and that's been going on in Lebanon.
Right.
I mean, like, you know, and other parts of the world too, dude. It's really like it's a lack of, I don't want to say the word woke, but it's a lack of enlightenment.
Right.
Understanding.
Well, it's kind of cool, like how you just want to absorb, like, you know, the guys at school, he wants to learn. You and I always we're open and want to learn about this, you know, different lifestyles, different cultures, different.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's how you get better. And so many people refuse to. They think they know it all. They don't need to improve. It's like you were saying, as an artist, you try, as a person, you evolve, and you want your art to evolve as well.
Yep. I love what you just said. as
Yeah.
you know, someone who doesn't want to learn and who thinks they know it all.
Oh,
Right?
it's the worst.
Like it's the worst. The number one thing that anybody who has any level of intelligence, like all the smart people, all the smartest people really always say that, you know, they're students their entire lives, right? And not students in the sense that they're sitting in a classroom with an instructor, but what they're saying is that I'm a student of life. Like I am continuing to learn every day, right? Expanding my horizons, challenging the beliefs that I have, or challenging what I've been taught before, because there's always something new evolving and growing and changing. So it's like you constantly have to do that. And if you don't, then you get left behind or you become stagnant, right? You become the person who only knows what they knew or what they've always known and have never done anything to challenge what it is they know. Like, and I'm not gonna get super deep because I know we've been here for a while, but look, man, I'll make it really simple. When I was a kid, I ate McDonald's. It was good. It was fun. They had commercials. They had characters. They gave away toys. It was great. I had a good time. And then I got a little older and I started to understand the value of food, the impact of food, and what food, like how food affects the body and what's considered good food and bad food or whatever the case may be. And so I decided to stop eating it. It was simple as that, because once I got the information, then I made better decisions. And that's about learning. And that's what it is. It's always about learning, dude. So that's why I foxtrot what you said.
Knowledge is power. G.I. Joe. All right, close us out, Reg.
That's why I foxtrot what you said, because you be learning.
Falling asleep.
Your butt's falling asleep. Oh man. All right. Hey, I want to say to everyone out there who's listening and who's watching, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here and being a part of this. We love what we do. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Thanks to our guest. He's amazing.
Thanks to our guest. He was amazing. Go check out his art. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.